Hello, my name is Phil Easter, historian and writer from Baltimore, Maryland, also known as the Amazing Memory Man. Today we will examine the life and tragic death of Her Royal Highness Diana, Princess of Wales. Lady Diana Spencer was born July 1st, 1961, to a noble family in England. As a young girl, she was sent to the type of schools that were mostly for wealthy and noble families, the children of wealthy and noble families. And at one point, she went to a school in Switzerland for several years and met children from many other countries. And she came back to England, and she was teaching very young children when she was about 18 or 19 years old. She met Prince Charles, and they were married at St. Paul's Cathedral in London on July 29th, 1981, exactly 4 weeks after her 20th birthday on July 1st, 1981. It was called the Royal Wedding of the Century, and millions of people watched on television from all around the world, and even here in America, many people were interested in what seemed like it would be a wonderful marriage and love story between Prince Charles and Diana. However, it would turn out not to be so perfect. Over the years, it came out that Prince Charles really loved a woman named Camilla. I think some of the people in the royal family, the insiders, really knew that from the beginning, and he really loved Camilla more than Diana. But of course, Diana was able to have children. Some reason Camilla was not able to, so he married Diana, and she had two sons, William and Harry, Prince William and Prince Harry, who now in 2022 have lived longer than their mom did. Sadly, she died in the tragic car accident in Paris on August 31st, 1997. We are recording this on Sunday, August 21st, 2022. So exactly 10 days from now, on the last day of August this year, it will be 25 years, a quarter of a century, since Princess Diana died in that tragic car accident. She and Charles, as most people know, were separated at some point, and she met a man by the name of Dodi Fayed, who was an Arab Englishman. Among other things, he was a movie producer, and he was also the son of the man who owned the famous Harrods department store in London, a fabulous department store. People from all over the world, many people who go to London, that's one of the must places to see, besides Westminster Abbey and St. Paul's Cathedral and Buckingham Palace and the Tower of London. Many people like to go to Harrods store. It's very well known. And I've been to England 6 times myself over the years, and I like so many things about Great Britain. It's my favorite country after the United States, and I've had many wonderful experiences there. I saw Queen Elizabeth II on the Isle of Man on July 5th, 1979. That was one of my highlights at a special commemoration ceremony. That island celebrated 1,000 years of the same parliament, continuous, the traditional parliament that was founded in the year 979. And so in 1979, it was 1,000 years old. And I also saw tennis at the famous Wimbledon tennis tournament that year. So I've had many interesting experiences in Great Britain. And I was very interested in the story of Princess Diana. And she was a very kind lady. She went around the world. She had interest in many humanitarian causes. And one of those was landmines, that some countries who were fighting civil wars in different parts of the world, some soldiers set these landmines that often killed women and children and men who were not even combatants. She was very interested in the landmines and trying to put an end to that. And she was a very kind lady. A lot of people felt, well, she was wealthy and beautiful and famous and so much going for her, but the breakup with Prince Charles had to be very upsetting, and at some point shortly before she died, she met this man, Dodi Fayed, and they were having a very good friendship. We're not sure, maybe a relationship was developing there. Some people think it was, but whatever, she was perhaps going to be able to find love, a man to really love her, and he was good to her. And that terrible, tragic car accident took place in Paris. The driver of their car was driving. He had so much to drink that night. The blood alcohol level, he died also in the car crash, and the police checked that later early, and it was just awful. The reason they were speeding, however, was because, as many of you may know, there are certain types of reporters called paparazzi, and they just like to hound famous people so much to an extent that it gets ridiculous. They try to find them wherever they're staying, even when they travel to another country, like at a hotel. And they were in Paris at that time, Princess Diana and Dodi Fayed, and trying to take a little break, from England. And here the driver was speeding through the tunnel early that morning, like around 2 or 3 in the morning, Paris time. And he was going just too fast, and the car crashed. There were 4 people in the car, and Princess Diana, Dodi Fayed, and the driver were killed. The bodyguard, he was sitting next to the driver, ironically, often considered the most dangerous seat in the car, according to many national safety standards, yet he survived. The bodyguard, he survived, but the other 3 were killed, unfortunately. And of course, this made world news. She was so popular, loved by so many people. And a few days later, it was Saturday, September 5th that year, that Sir Elton John, at Princess Diana's funeral, he redid his famous song that he originally wrote in honor of Marilyn Monroe, the great American actress who died tragically in 1962, called Candle in the Wind. And he rewrote some of the words, and then he rewrote the title of the song and called it Goodbye England's Rose. It was so touching to hear that, and I was up early in the morning here in the United States because it was like a 5 or 6 hour time difference between here and London, but I was up early to watch that funeral that day, and he sang that song. It was so touching, and I've heard it on YouTube many times. His updated version of Candle in the Wind, called Goodbye England's Rose, Sir Elton John. And it is now, as I say, it's been now 25 years since she died, and Prince William, her oldest son, just turned 40 recently. So, and I think Harry's about 37 or so. And Princess Diana was only 36 when she died in that car accident on August 31st, 1997. She will be always remembered as one of the most famous women in the world, and a very kind lady. And now, 25 years later, we remember Diana, Princess of Wales. This is Phil Easter, the Amazing Memory Man. Thank you, God bless you, and good night.